we've made it to 2019 Alpine Rally. That's what this adventure's been all about. The cars here behind me, Datsun looks awesome in the sunshine on the beautiful coast of Lakes Entrance. The rally starts this afternoon, but it's been such a big effort and adventure by the team. Check out the vlog, make sure you subscribe and like it. Cheers.
Wishart.
So 30 days out from Alpine now. We've still been working on the car, Mark mainly. We've got a lot more parts now, which is really cool. About time as well. So what we've got here is the Forza brake discs, they've arrived, and the Alpine front and rear calipers. So you can see they mount up here to the S14 knuckles. I've just got to get some bolts to work with them. And we've got our knuckles back as well, since Troy shortened this arm to make our steering a bit quicker. So this week, hopefully as well, we get our MCA struts, and this will be able to all bolt in, and the front end will nearly be complete. So here you can see we've got the front brake disc versus the rear. So the rear is a solid disc, whereas the front's ventilated. It's 26mm by 295. And we've only gone with a dual piston rear. I think it weighs 950 grams, so really lightweight. And the rear shouldn't have to do a lot of braking, and the front is 4 piston and it's about 2.5 kilos. So they're a lot lighter than the original R33 calipers we're going to run. We're nearly 7 kilos I think on the front, so it's a big difference.
Attention, pardon me for reminiscing, but baby, I got to mention that we're not too alike. If opposites attract, then by now would have you wrapped up so tight. You and me, we're not meant to be. It was like the moon and the stars didn't fit into place on their own.
We've actually extended the steering column. It's about 120mm longer here. Then the C125 Motec dash sits just in behind the steering wheel. But we can move that down as well once we do some testing, see where we want it to fit. We've got the electric steering column. It's very similar to the Escort one I showed you guys in the vlog when we drove it at Yarra Valley Stages. And I had that on the car already when I used to autocross it. So that's cool, and we've had to make custom seat mounts, and these are the seats out of my Subaru carbon fibre, so they're nice and lightweight, and you can see like the roof vent carbon fibre as well. Steering wheel sitting on there, so it's all coming into play. The reason we've put the roll cage back up here was because, like I explained, we wanted to move the seats back and get the weight further to the rear of the car. Talking about the rear, we've got our diff in now, so it's a Subaru R180 we're running with the LSD. It's a 4:4 ratio. We've made some small modifications to the cross member as well. So this is the gearbox we'll be using, the SG3 Hollinger. So it's 6-speed sequential, and it has a flat shifter in the gear knob. Try and get that out of there as well. So that'll help where if you don't have wheel spin, you just keep pulling the gears and can flat change, so it'll be much quicker out of the corners, and also down changing with the sequential makes it quicker and more efficient as well. In the front end, just showing you the arms we're going to run. They're the same as S14, so a company up in Sydney make them, Hard Race. 29 days out now from Alpine. Big progress on the car though, because we now have our suspension and our brakes. So that's pretty exciting. We've got the MCA Golds. We've just got the springs off at the minute because we're trying to figure out our wheel spacing to order our braids. See, we've got the adjustable tops and high and low speed bump and the compression rebound settings underneath. So that's cool. So that's the front. We have about 180 mil of travel in the front. That's an S14 setup with, like I said yesterday, the S14 arms. And we come to the rear. We've just been measuring the rear so we can measure our drive shafts from Waterhouse Performance with our spring off. So this is our coilover conversion. Usually you just have a shocker here and the spring sits in here, but we've changed it to a coilover and used Stu Wilkins Motorsport Safari mounts. And then there's a clevis on the top here with a rose joint. As you can see, that bolts in up there. And the adjuster will drill a hole here and that will go inside the car. That's the grommet to go there, so we can easily open the rear door, do the adjustments. So that's pretty cool. So in the rear, we should have about 210 mil of travel, but we've got to measure our offset for our wheels now, so we've just been doing that. And yeah, tomorrow we can order the drive shafts. So that's good, so made good progress. "16 days out from Alpine now, and we've got the Datsun here in Motion Performance exhaust, and I'm with Adrian. He's done the extractors, the headers on the car, so we're just going to explain a little bit about what we've done there and why we've done it that way.
Basically as straight as we can with the first one, so this is always going to be basically the straightest one because it's the furthest to the front. So
you made it first?
Yeah, so I made that one first. So straight as possible down, and the rest you basically try and get the exact same length, which we have, which is always good.
Yeah, so even though number 4 bends around like this, it's actually the same length as number 1, isn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, so which is always the hardest thing.
And our size here, it gets bigger after what, 250 mil you were saying? Yep. So what size have we started off with?
1 3/4 up the top.
1 3/4. Yep.
Yep. So 250 mil, and then it steps to 1 7/8, and same distance, 250 mil to the collector cone.
To the collector. We've got to go around the gearbox cross member, and then it'll run beside the tail shaft, which isn't in at the minute, through the rear cross member, and then just miss the drive shaft and up into the muffler. So we're just working all that out now with Adrian, and we're figuring out where we can put the cat, whether we put it at the back or in front of the cross member. Days out from Alpine now. Full swing in the car build. You can see behind me some pretty exciting changes now. We've actually got our new braid rims, so they've turned up. We went with the satin black. It's a full race A max light. They're only 7.2 kilos, so really lightweight, and they should do the trick for us. That's the new GM6 Pirelli steer tyre, so that's a soft. And then sometimes we may run the super soft, which is a GM8, just on the steer. They're a 185, so they're a little bit skinnier, so it helps you turn in. You come around the front now, airbox is done, Troy's done that. All the wiring in the engine bay is done. As you can see here, E&K from Australian Race and Rally Services has been very kind to be doing all that for us. Mark's finished all the brake lines now. All goes to the reservoir here, and comes down to the pedal box, so you can see all the sensors and switches. That comes around the back, the T-piece, and goes out to the back of the car. So that's been a lot of work for the boys to get done. Come around this side now. All our Motec M1's in, the PDMs, the oil lines are now all in. They're right through the car, right through the firewall there. And our MCA suspension, completely in the rear. And one thing we had to do was get these rear caliper mounts done. So that's been quite a big job. Waterhouse Performance made us the drive shaft, so that all fits in. We've got some nice clearance here now for our MCA suspension, and we're going to coil over instead of the old spring setup with a shocker here. So hopefully that should get us a bit more traction. In the boot, wiring's about complete. Just a couple of wires here go to the fuel sender. We're going to have an LED light under there. We've also gone for LED globes in the back. Underneath, come along, thanks to Motion Performance Exhaust, they've done our system underneath, so it's really cool. I've shown you a special on that a bit earlier, but that's completely finished now. Little cat at the back there and comes right through the back of the car.
I'm lost, turn up, no sleep. You don't wanna see me anymore. Your smell still runs so deep. See fire in your eyes. I know that there's no use. These nights are burning blue. You've been my only truth. See fire in your eyes.
Oh, just got home from Bendigo. What a busy day. We nearly gave up a few times, but we chose not to. My vlogging cameras went flat today, so I didn't get a lot of footage. But what we did get was a running Datsun 1600, so excited. We had a lot of issues, but we had Todd on the phone in Sydney looking wirelessly at the data. Mark hooked up in the car in Bendigo, and Jesse come around as well to help. My brother and the rest of my family was there, and we worked away at the car. We got all the doors on, so that's really exciting. And we got it to run, and we've loaded it up, put it on the trailer to go to the dyno tomorrow at MPC. It's a Sunday night, the week before Alpine, so, well, the week of Alpine really. It's been crazy. It's 1:30 AM. Only the third 1:30 AM night this week, so I need to go to shower and get ready for work at 5:30 in the morning. So, see what tomorrow brings. See ya. Yeah.
Sounds like 90 out or something. Like it's popping back through the exhaust like it's firing. Yeah, so maybe going back to like 90. Yeah. That's not like misbehaving massively, so that might be something near it. We've got no fuel in it at the moment either, do we? Oh, you did put it back to zero?
Yeah, so I'm good to go back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. 3 days out from the Alpine rally now. I've popped down to Melbourne to pick up the car from the dyno, but I had to also get a spare throttle cable from EFI Hardware. So I've called in, and this is Steve. Steve's actually the owner of EFI Hardware. It's his baby for the last 21 years. So what we're going to go through here, I just wanted to show you the design phase and the steps that come through to us finally choosing to get the VE intake manifold.
This time, traditionally we do cast throttle bodies, but we wanted to take a different approach this time, and we wanted to take a more scientific approach. So this time we had just bought a 3D printer, which we really wanted to use, and we decided to have a testing program where we would make the best throttle kit that we could for the SR20 VE. So we started off with a traditional round shape of a throttle body. So in this particular throttle body we can run the shaft horizontally or vertically, and these are all designed not for end of use but just for the flow bench testing. So we also did a number of different bore sizes. Then we moved on to trying rectangular throttles, which we saw an instant improvement on.
And that was just in the flow rate?
In the flow rate.
Yep.
But a very interesting thing, which I'll come up on in a moment, was a key difference between the round and the rectangular. A couple of benefits that we stumbled along the way. So with the rectangular throttles, we found that we could go too big too quickly, where the airspeed seemed to drop. The benefit we found was we were able to get the same flow rate out of a rectangular throttle for a smaller cross-sectional area than a round throttle. So that meant airspeed was up, torque will be up, horsepower will be up. So all the benefits, plus the added benefit that a round throttle takes up a lot more shape because the rectangular throttle is sort of squashed down. It means that we can get the injector angle really nice on the back of the inlet valves.
You can see there that the angles change so much compared to in the round tube there. It goes straight in. It's almost 90 degrees compared to flat, isn't it? And this is the final result which I purchased. This is what we come up with, and with the lack of room I had between where the manifold bolts onto the head and where the strut tower is, we went with a spacer option, which shortens the length, but also we got a great performance out of it as well, wasn't it?
Well, that's right. So you were able to use one of our air boxes that kind of dodges the fuel rails.
Yes.
So the overall combination you got was the runners, then throttle body, then spacer, and then ram tube. Yeah, it's a whole lot of fun developing and making something like this.
Thanks for your time, Steve. I better get back to MPC and see how the car's gone on the dyno. I've just come around the corner to MPC. As you can see, the Datto's here on the dyno. Lee's had the car all yesterday, fixed a few problems, a few little issues, and we're about to give it a good full-fledged run and see what numbers we come up with for the rally. So this is Lee. How'd we go, Lee?
Yeah, all good. We've got all these Hotech goodies all set up, ready to go for your testing.
So what power did we end up coming up with, the max kilowatts?
We're just in the mid 140 kilowatts on the wheels.
Mid 140, yep.
Yep, which is pretty good for this sort of thing, being just under a 2 litre. Revving out to a maximum of, revving to 9.3, but probably going to put the limiter about 9.250.
Yep.
So you'll be revving it to 9,000 all day, every day.
Revving it very hard, so about 1,000 kilos we're hoping for, and revving 9,250, so it should sound very good in the forest. So that pretty much concludes our dyno runs now. What's going to happen with the car, like I've been seeing airfire hardware earlier, and we're just going to adjust the return on the throttle. We'll get the car off the dyno and we'll shoot back to Bendigo, finish our setup. We've only got three days to go.
Hey Brendo, what are you doing?
Just about to go for a test run. We're just bedding the brakes. Everything feels good, so we're about to hit the track. Can't wait. Not long. Alpine starts tomorrow.